I've just been looking online here for some figures to do with benefit fraud, because there's been a campaign of TV advertisements here in the UK for some time now about benefit fraud, with the tagline "It's a real rip-off." And these adverts on television are designed to either scare people into not doing it, or more likely to provoke the neighbours and friends of these people into shopping them. Because, as it rightly says here, it costs, and this is the figures from 2008, which is the most recent one on the government website, is £12.6 million of public money was lost in 2008 from benefit fraud, which is a lot of money. £12.6 million of public money. And I guess the reason for those adverts are to try to reduce that figure. But it is interesting to compare that figure and to compare the visibility of those adverts with the other figures. I mean, the figures of something like the recent bank bailout. You know, the banks went bust and there was a bailout. Apparently, that bank bailout is going to cost every man, woman and child in the UK £14,000. £14,000 to pay back the bailout to those banks, which is quite a lot of money. And on the other side of that, the bankers, and I haven't got a proper stats for that, I've only just pulled up the figures for Goldman Sachs from the figures from 2006. In 2006, investment bankers at Goldman Sachs were paid a total of £8.4 billion in bonuses. £8.4 billion. So there's a set of figures there. 12.6 million lost to benefit fraud, which for the most part is a crime of the working class and the underclass. It's usually committed, and I've been in this position myself, so I know the pressures. It's usually committed by people who are completely strapped for cash, who are living absolutely on the breadline, and who are given the opportunity to earn a little bit more to maybe buy some presents for the kids, I don't know, or maybe buy a book, or just do something human like go to the pub for a pint. So they have an opportunity to just shift their income off absolute destitution to barely human, and that costs us all £12.6 million. Of course, it's wrong. I'm not defending it, but that's what's happening. Compare that figure, 12.6 million, with 8.4 billion pounds in bonuses paid out to investment bankers who have effectively stolen, because of their ineptitude and their greed, £14,000 off every man, woman and child in the UK. Why are there not advertisements on the television about investment bankers? Why are they not being targeted for demonisation in the way that the poor are being chosen for demonisation? Why? I don't know what the total figures in the recent scandal we had here about politicians' expenses, but I would be quite surprised if it was a long way short of that figure that we're like losing to benefit fraud. Why are we not seeing the advertisements about, you know, watch your politician, make sure he hasn't got his hand in your pocket? Why are there no adverts showing investment bankers saying, you know, watch this dodgy banker, he's probably ripping you off? Why are those things not around? I mean, I know why they're not around, obviously, and I don't think it's a conspiracy. I don't think there's any kind of systematic class war going on, but I do think it's systemic. I do think it's absolutely built into the system and would require a huge amount of will or a huge amount of anger to make an effective change. But every time I see those benefit fraud adverts, it's a real rip-off, you know, and you just see some working class single mother, or you see some guy who is trying to make ends meet being put under the spotlight and grilled as if he's a mass murderer. It just makes me want to cry. I just think it's appalling.